Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for tuning into the Tarot Tip series. In this Tarot Tip and the next one, we're going to talk a little bit about the book learning and how the study of other things that are connected to the tarot will very much enhance your personal experience of the tarot, and I think will improve and deepen whatever readings you do for other people. It is true that you don't get very far in your study of tarot without running into astrology and without running into Qabalah. Each of these has a very precise and specific way of connecting with the symbols of the tarot. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about some of the Hebrew letters and their associations with the corresponding cards in the major arcana. There are 22 major arcana cards. There are 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. These two have been assigned correlating meanings. Now, there is some discussion about the validity of that. Some people think it's an arbitrary and made up kind of correlation, that the two systems, Qabalah and tarot, really have nothing to do with each other. But then there are those who do see and appreciate and tie in the two systems as reflections of the same cosmological truth. So today I just want to talk a little bit about some of the Hebrew letters and their associations with some of the particular major arcana cards that I find especially, I'll say, endearing, because when I talk about these in class, it's really just another layer of the meaning of the card. So to have these things in your back pocket, to be aware of these sorts of things, it can be very useful, again, in your personal study of the tarot, whatever you get from that as an individual, and then as you read cards for other people. For instance, the Hebrew letter that's associated with the Empress card is Dalet, D-A-L-E-T-H. And the word means door. And so that really reminds us that the Empress is the doorway to life, whether we see it as our physical mother, whether we see it as our connection to the planet. It is the threshold that we walk across to have this physical experience. So to have that particular word and that particular letter be associated with the Empress card, not only is it, I think, lyrical, but it's also very descriptive of the function of the Empress in the series of the 22 major arcana cards. Another one that I appreciate very much is the Hebrew letter for the High Priestess, which is Gimel, G-I-M-E-L. That word means camel, or that letter means camel. And if you're at all familiar with the Kabbalistic tree of life, and sort of its inverted triangular pattern, the path of the High Priestess is the longest path on the tree. It's the tree that mediates between the left side and the right side of the tree of life. It crosses a vast stretch of cosmological desert. In other words, the idea that between the knowable and the beyond our comprehension is the path that the High Priestess takes, from beyond the unconscious to a place of flickering consciousness. So it's that pathway that connects us to the deeper mystery. And I like the idea that the camel traverses a vast distance and perseveres across the unknown to its destination. The Hebrew letter for the Hanged Man, card 12 in the Major Arcana series, is Mem, M-E-M, significant of water. And in some tarot decks, you might not look at your Hangman card and recognize it immediately as a very significant water card. It is one of the biggest water cards in the whole 78 card deck, and of the major arcana, it's one of the biggest and most significant cards, because it begins the transition out of the personality into the unconscious, where we find the deeper meaning and the transformational energy, which will take us into the world card. So that M that you might see on the Ace of Cups connects us to that element of water, connects us to this Hanged Man card. So to recognize that the Hanged Man card, even though it's very rare, I would say, to see any depiction of the element of water in a Hanged Man card, or a Hanged One, or whatever name your particular deck might call it. Position number 12 is a very significant water position, so it's interesting and meaningful that the Hebrew letter that goes with that position is the letter that signifies water. I'm going to close up this little section or this tip with one of the correlations, or a pair of correlations that I find so interesting and evocative of the meaning of the cards, and that's the letters that are associated with the Moon and the Sun card. That the letter for the Hebrew letter for the Moon card is Qoph, Qoph. If some of you do crossword puzzles, you may be familiar with that word, Qoph, and its meaning is back of the head. And if you think about what the Moon card signifies, it's that place beyond rational knowing. It's that place where information sits in potential, or where it's stored for retrieval or recall. The Moon is the place of process. And sometimes even, I know when I'm trying to remember something, I might say to somebody, it's in the back of my head somewhere, I just can't quite bring it to the front. And so that idea that the Hebrew letter that's associated with the Moon card means back of the head, for me is so, again, I would say endearing. And that its complement, the Sun card, that the letter that goes with the Sun card is Resh, R-E-S-H, and that means face or front of the head. So we've got like this Moon energy back here and this Sun energy out in front, the thing that we can identify, the thing that we can see, the thing that people recognize when they see us. They might not recognize the stuff that's in the back of our head, our Moon energy, but people see, not in a negative way, but that facade, the thing that's in the front. So if you're interested, I want to support people and encourage people to, if you haven't already, dip your toe a little bit into the world of the Qabalah. It can sort of frighten people off, but if you're looking for a very good resource, really designed for people who want both an introduction but a very thorough overview of how Qabalah and Tarot fit, I would highly recommend Tarot of the Sephiroth. They have their own website. It's Sephiroth, Tarot of the Sephiroth. There's a deck there, tarot deck. There is a guidebook that goes along with. Very much geared for people who want to learn the basics, who want to see the system as a whole and want a working relationship with their cards and the Tree of Life. So that'll get you started. I do appreciate you tuning in. I want to remind people that I'm going to be doing a Celtic Cross webinar this coming Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a live reading in the session. Let's see, you can go to the TarotWorks website, TarotWorks.com, to find the link to the registration form for that. That's this coming Wednesday, November 30th at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Next time, we're going to talk a little bit about some astrological correlations within the tarot and how, like what we've seen here today, they can be very descriptive, very evocative, very significant, and very helpful as you're doing readings to be able to see the layers of meaning and the very many, let's say, webs of connection within any reading that you might do for yourself or for others. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.